Hey everybody, Will from 1 Kilo. Today I'm going to tell you how you can tell if you're ready to Olympic lift, and that's coming up right now. Hey all, glad you're here. If it's your first time, fifth time, 10th time, please like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. All right, so you are excited, or you have someone in your gym who's really excited about Olympic lifting, and they want to learn to snatch and clean and jerk, and they want to go dominate on the platform. But are they ready? That's the first question you have to ask yourself is, are they ready for the movements, the snatch and the clean and jerk? And so today what I'm gonna do is show you 3 really easy, really quick tests that you can take your athletes through to see if they're ready to get on the platform for snatches and clean and jerks. So these 3 tests, these are gonna be our assessment tests. And what we're trying to do is just evaluate whether, 1, it's gonna be safe for the athlete to lift, or do they have any mobility restrictions that might cause them to have some pain or discomfort while they lift, or might it be actually dangerous for them to lift? So 1, we're gonna look for any mobility restrictions that will keep them from lifting. 2, we're gonna look at areas of weakness that might be restrictions or might be sticking points while they're learning to lift. All right, our first test is gonna be an active straight leg raise. So what we're gonna have the athlete do is they're gonna lie flat on their back, palms up, toes up, and we want the toes sticking straight up. What they're gonna do is, with one leg sticking down into the ground, they're gonna lift the other leg up straight as high as they can, slowly. We'll have them do 2 or 3 attempts. Then we'll repeat with the other side. And what we're looking at with this is, we're looking at their ability to get hip flexion, because hip flexion is really just, while lying on their back, hip flexion is the same as doing an RDL position, trying to get hip flexion right here. And if they can't do it lying on their back, when they go to get into an RDL position, the hang position, they're gonna get some compensation and potentially round their back. And what we don't wanna do is get that rounding of the lumbar spine while they're under load, because that's gonna cause back issues later on. So the first test is the active straight leg raise. We're looking for good hip flexion. A passing score on this is gonna be the athlete can get their heel past their knee on the opposite side. All right, next one we're gonna do is a back to wall shoulder flexion. So this time we're looking at really good shoulder mobility. Obviously with the snatch and the jerk, we wanna be able to see the athlete get the bar overhead into a really good position and a safe looking position. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the athlete stand with heels about 6 inches away from the wall. They're gonna touch their hips, their T-spine, and the back of their head to the wall. With both hands at their side, they're just gonna raise their hands up overhead while they try to touch the wall. And what we're looking for is that they can get their thumb against the wall without getting too much arch in that low back. If they have to compensate and really extend in the low back, that's gonna indicate that they have some shoulder restrictions. They're gonna make it difficult for them to get in a good overhead position. And our final test is really a global test. And what we're gonna do is just have the athlete do an overhead squat. We're gonna have the athlete take what is a decent snatch grip, and they're gonna press the stick or a light bar overhead, and then descend into an overhead squat as deep as possible. And what we're looking for here is just that good overhead squat position that we would like to see in a snatch. And so we're gonna see heels flat on the ground, athlete's hips sitting down low, not too much incline in the torso, and the bar or stick directly overhead, kind of in line with the ears. So if we see any big deviations with the bar too far forward or their torso inclined too far forward in that position, we're gonna know that we have some restrictions. And those restrictions could be ankle mobility, they could be hip internal and external rotation. They're a little too tight to get into that bottom position to start with. So we can take that information from the overhead squat and then start looking for the details about why it is that they're having those specific restrictions. Okay, so if we finish these 3 tests and we do our active straight leg raise, we do our back to wall shoulder flexion, and we do the overhead squat, we're gonna have a really good picture of whether or not those athletes are ready to Olympic lift. And if they are, let's get them on the platform. We'll start working in some drill work and working on learning the progressions of Olympic lifting, but if they're not, take the time to work on the mobility restrictions, work on training those patterns, whether that's a squat pattern, a hinge pattern, whatever it is, and remediate the exercises so that they are ready, because what we want to do is set our athletes up for a ton of success on the platform. All right, thanks for joining me today. That was our assessment, really quick, really easy. That's how we know if an athlete is ready to get on the platform and hit really big snatches and big clean and jerks. Thanks for being here, and I will see you all next week.
Go ahead and clap for me quick.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. All right.